they were a predator and carnivorous, there's no way that their teeth would have popped out of their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So even the Denver Museum posted that evidence that scientists were starting to believe that they were herbivores. They weren't even carnivorous. They may have been scavengers that ate, meat that was already, animals were already dead. But
Well, that's cool.
the actual tearing of flesh, they didn't have enough gum capacity to do that.
Uh-huh. That's good to know. The teeth on those things were serrated, and that goes back to my idea about God's lawnmower, because I think serrated teeth would be great. That if you had a T-Rex skull and those big, sharp, pointy teeth with a lot of space in between in the serrations, and you wanted to get the green leafy part off of a tree, what if you grabbed a hold of that thing in your mouth and just yanked your head back, and what would those serrated surfaces do to the leaves on that? Would it rip off all the good stuff so you're not swallowing all the wood, and maybe you eat the nice leafy parts? I don't know. I just like to wonder about things. That's all. Let's go to the guy back here. He has a question. Then we'll come back to you.
There was a rumor circulating several years ago that in the Big Bend area of the river in Texas, there were dinosaur tracks that were on top of the tracks of the sandals of a man. Have you ever heard that, and has it ever been verified?
One thing I like to read about is dinosaur tracks. And in fact, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to plug the next safari. We're going to go back to La Junta in Picketwire Canyon to one of the biggest dinosaur track sites in the world. It will be about a 2.2-mile hike to it and back, but it's worth it to see one of the rare sites in the world with hundreds of even thousands of dinosaur footprints, plus theropod and sauropod tracks in the same place. So that's the plug, and that's going to be September 18th, 19th, and 20th, a Friday through Sunday, third weekend in September. So if you want to go to those track sites, we'll have fun talking about tracks. So I like reading about tracks, and everything I've read about tracks is they have not found dinosaurs and human footprints together. They have found in some parts of Russia and China, and I'm going to leave out Paluxy River area for now. I don't even want to comment on that. But they have found places where there are dinosaur footprints and human footprints significantly far apart, but supposedly in the same rock strata, same rock layer, but not next to each other and definitely not overlapping. So it still, in my opinion, squashes the geologic column. But no one has found a human and dinosaur footprint together that's been confirmed. You had a...
My question related to that coinciding footprint business. As a matter of fact, in the last publication of this organization, there's a picturization of a footprint of a man in the footprint of a dinosaur.
I'd like to see
You know
that.
what I'm talking about? But you have the last issue. It's in a cartoon shape.
Okay. I'll look for that. All the stuff I've read, the two have not been found to exist together, but I'll look for that. Yes?
And one of your pictures was of, I believe, an Inca burial stone that had a lot of dinosaurs on it. Do you think, is that pretty credible evidence that those Indians actually saw dinosaurs?
I don't know. I didn't mention it because it is kind of controversial, but since you asked, a bunch of stones were found in Peru in the early 1990s. How long? 1900s, actually, a long time ago. No, it was recent discovery, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think fairly recent.
Yeah, I think in the...
I've read they've been found ever
Okay. They found a bunch of them, and you can see from this picture that it's a stone, and it's got etchings on it, and that sure looks like a sauropod right there. That looks like a theropod. Here's a ceratopsid. It's just a two-horned one. It's not a triceratops, but it's in that same class. And back here is one of the stegosaurs, and then a pterosaur up there. And that this is supposed to be a very old, dating back to the, was it the Incas or the Mayans out there? Did I write Inca? Okay. No, that's Ica river stones. That's not Inca. That's the river they were found by. That's not the Incans. Yeah, there's a fish here. Not a plesiosaur, so don't assume. But they found a whole bunch of these with the dinosaur pictures on it, and the rap is that the things are too perfect for as old as they're supposed to be to actually be dinosaur pictures. Kristen, do you have a comment on this?
Look over some of those, you can see the circular patterns where their skin vastly different than some of the other stones. And they recently found the fossilized skin of dinosaurs that had the circular patterns.
Really? Maybe there's more to it or not. I'm not so sure, so I don't like to talk about it a whole lot. But it's something. It's another one of those interesting things to think about. Yes.
Are you familiar with the dinosaur remains found around Hayes, Kansas? Can you comment on that?
Dinosaur remains at Hayes?
Hayes, Kansas, western Kansas.
Yeah, I've been through Hayes in the Sternberg Museum there.
Sternberg Museum is what I'm referring to.
Oh, you mean the fish within a fish?
Right.
Oh yeah. In fact, we take the Western Kansas safari and we go out and we fossil hunt in the chalk beds that stuff was found in. So if you want to do fossil hunting when we do Western Kansas, you can go to the same spot. I have an overhead of that thing, but I don't have it with me, and I don't remember exactly the fish inside it. But the big fish is a Portheus, and Tim here actually found a Portheus tooth in the chalk beds out there, a spiky tooth, black about that long. And there's a smaller fish inside it, and it's not a herring. I can't remember what's inside it. But they found the Portheus with a fish inside the rib cage, and it's crushed, but this other fish is in between the vertebrae of this fish. The ribs of this fish. So it was swallowed and inside the fish. And this fish that's within the Portheus is well fossilized and preserved as the Portheus, indicating that the creature swallowed this fish and was buried and fossilized before the fish in his tummy digested, which indicates rapid burial and rapid fossilization. There's I got another overhead too of I can't remember the fish on the outside now, but from the Green River beds in western Wyoming, I have a picture of a fish in the process of swallowing a herring. The herring is literally sticking out of its mouth. It's half swallowed. And it was buried and fossilized in that condition, indicating this creature was rapidly buried and fossilized in the process of swallowing its dinner. So, I mean, that's a cool sample there. If you're ever going along I-70 and you pass Hayes, Kansas, the Sternberg Museum is right off the highway. It's a round teepee, great big teepee round type dome building by the highway. You should stop. It's worth the time. Also, for the animatronic dinosaurs on the top floor. It's really cool. You were there? When were you there?
About a year ago.
Yeah. That's a cool place. There's some interesting things in there. It's not the flashiest museum in the world, but the stuff in it's worth it. Yes?
Private like land areas, western Colorado, where they found like the behemoth skeletal remains and they're trying to dig it up. And they found fossil bone, a skeletal bone of the behemoth, and there's organic material on site.
No, I hadn't heard about that. If you have references on that, I'd love to read that, though.